Hello, friends, and welcome to an exciting new episode of New Gameplay Today. I am your host, Alex Stadnik, and it's exciting for multiple reasons. First and foremost, we're joined by Brian Shea. Hello, sir.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. Much better than Danny Rojas here. Second, and not to be outdone because Brian Shea is the man, but we have a very special guest. Our production director, Margaret Andrews, super fan of Far Cry, has joined us today. Hello, Mags.
Hello, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, well, it's very rare we get you on video, so this is a treat. And thirdly, Brian Shea, what are we playing today?
Far Cry 6.
Ah, so good. The upcoming Ubisoft open world game starring everyone's favorite character from Ted Lasso, Danny Rojas.
Yeah.
Danny Rojas.
I talked about this on the podcast that is coming out later this week, but like the emotional beats are so great in this game, the action is so great, but anytime they mention the character's name, Danny Rojas, which is the main character that you play as in Far Cry 6, I can't help but chuckle a little bit because I love Ted Lasso so much, but it's hilarious that you have to deal with that. There's no way like changing the character's name or anything. It's even spelled the same.
I love it. That's so funny. So you touched on it right there. You said the story beats have been great. The action has been great. We're seeing the action here, but how this is your first time getting to play this game. How is it feeling? You're a big Far Cry fan too, correct?
I do love Far Cry. I mean, I even liked 5 and New Dawn, which a lot of people were less warm on. I think that it feels great. My only real critique of the action itself is that something you're going to see in this sequence that we're watching right now is that they throw a lot of grenades. Like, they're very grenade happy, the enemies are. Yeah. So that was a little bit annoying, especially on missions like this where it's like tight corridors and like trying to pick off. So basically the mission here, this is the climax of the first island that you're on, that you start on. And this is the climax. You have to clear these 2 ships of enemies and basically reclaim these ships that are creating a blockade in your of the island. Okay. So you just have to go around and basically wipe out the entire ship's worth of enemies, and they are just tossing grenades left and right, and it is a huge pain.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, yeah, it feels great. The gunplay is awesome. The weapons are fun. The traversal is great. Like, I like climbing the mountainsides and exploring the different islands, and we're not going to see it in this footage, I don't think, but jumping off a cliff and opening up the wingsuit and covering just amazing distances in record time is so much fun.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Now, Mags, you are a big Far Cry fan yourself. Does that, like, what you're seeing and what Shea has talked about, does that sound appealing to you?
This looks amazing. I have to be honest. I have largely ignored all of the previews and all the videos because I wanted it to be a surprise. So this is my for real first look at this game.
Oh,
and,
nice.
Wow.
And it looks amazing. It's like all the things that I love about Far Cry so far.
For sure. That's awesome.
Lots of guns, lots of grenades. I like the grenades. I think it looks great.
So interesting. We have pro grenades, anti grenades.
I don't mind grenades, like, especially in like when it's like you throwing the grenades, or like if the enemies are throwing grenades, but like if they're just right spamming them. Like, there were a lot of times where I was like, oh my god, I just can't even get out of this hallway because every time I poke my head around the corner, there's a grenade landing right at my feet.
For sure. So another huge part of this game, as really since I would say Far Cry 3 has been one of the highlights of these games, have been the villains. And if you've been paying attention, Giancarlo Esposito, who is in The Mandalorian. He's Gus Fring in Breaking Bad, is the main antagonist in this game. And Shea, do you get a chance to see much of him in your preview?
I saw a couple of scenes with that guy, and he plays El Presidente Anton Castillo. And let me tell you, so I was a big fan of Voss in Far Cry 3. Pagan Min in Far Cry 4 was pretty good, and I even thought Joseph Steed was a decent creepy guy in Far Cry 5, even though a lot of people weren't really feeling him. I will say that this, for a series that has a long and illustrious history of like menacing bad guys, I think Anton Castillo is going to maybe sit above all of them.
Oh wow!
Oh,
You've seen him in his roles in The Mandalorian and Breaking Bad. You know how good he plays the villain, and how like just outright bone chilling he can be, and like the way he delivers lines and the way he just commands a scene. And I definitely felt that in my time, like in the scenes that he was in like the cutscenes and everything.
Cool. Awesome. Well, that's awesome to hear, especially against such a backdrop of great villains. So we've moved ahead in the footage here. What are we headed up to here?
So right now, I believe this is a mission that takes place either right before or right after. I think this is before that one, where you are. I'm going to be scouting these they're not really tobacco fields. It's a plantation. There's one of the main exports of this fictional island of Yara. It's a Caribbean island, and their big thing is, we have the most effective cancer treatment on the planet. It's called Viviro. And these are like the plants that they use. But there's something more insidious behind this. Like they're saying that they use it for poison as well, for like crowd control and everything. So the mission here is to burn this place to the ground, basically.
A la Far Cry 3. I
have a flamethrower, and like ever since Far Cry 3, the flame physics and like the way the fire behaves is so great, and that's like a highlight of the the engine that they use in Far Cry games, and I think you'll see in a second here that's kind of remains intact here.
Yeah,
you'll also see that I equipped soft target rounds, which are effective against unarmored enemies. Which you see that a lot of them, you see people out there, they don't have body armor on. There's also hollow point rounds, which are better for penetrating armor, and then you can scout the enemies. And I learned that like these guys that have the kind of like the biohazard suits on are susceptible to flame. So just so happen to have a flamethrower.
There we go. Makes sense.
So my special weapon that I have equipped is the flamethrower, and then I also have a thing called a Supremo, which is like an ultimate ability, and I use it to horrible effect here, but I don't know if that's going to be in the footage because it was very uneventful. I was just like at the end of the mission, I was like, I wonder what this thing does, because it was like my first mission that I had it available.
Yeah,
and I was like, that would have been convenient when there were enemies nearby.
I don't know if we get to that or not, but Mags, did you have a question? Did you want to jump in, or are you okay?
No, I'm laughing because this looks like everything I love about Far Cry. I will absolutely walk in here with the flamethrower and not leave until every last bush has been burned and every last collectible has been collected. So this looks very exciting to me.
Good. I love it. And that's a good segue into, this, from what I'm seeing from this footage and what we talked about on the podcast that y'all should listen to later this week. It seems like, as much as this is a new entry in Far Cry, we're not exactly, the internet's going to cringe at this, but we're not Breath of the Wilding this, right? This isn't like a whole new experience for this series, right? There's going to be collecting, there's going to be towers and bases you liberate, correct?
Yeah, I didn't encounter any towers that you had to like climb in order to like unlock fast travel or anything. It was more of the checkpoints that you clear out. So like there are checkpoints that you come across that are run by the dictator, and you can clear it out of his forces and then destroy the propaganda. And you see my little alligator amigo there. Yeah. So you can equip different amigos. There's Chorizo, who is like the little the wiener dog.
Yeah.
There's I forget his name, the alligator, and then there's a giant chicken that I also forget his name. So I'm very unhelpful right now.
That's okay.
Or something like that.
The fact that they're in the games is enough for me. What is their role? What do they do? So the alligator and the giant chicken will attack enemies in different ways. I think the alligator is actually a lot faster than I expected it to be. And then Chorizo will try his best, but he can also, so in battle he will try his best, but he's also a cute little wiener dog who can distract enemies. Oh, okay.
So yeah, you can have him walk up and distract enemies.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
And speaking of a little bit of a cringe thing you had mentioned when you said like the wilding, the only cringe thing that I really saw on this game, you saw it at the start of this kind of assault on this fort, is one of the healing animations is he takes a cigar and basically puffs it and then puts it on the wound, which I think is a little stupid, but everything else, like, you know, it's a Far Cry animation. It's like there's sometimes he's pulling shrapnel out, other times he's wrapping a bandage around his arm, or you just saw him swallow some painkillers.
Yeah.
So, and you can play as male or female. I chose female Danny Rojas, and I thought the character model and the voice actress were both great. I did not get to see the male version, so I can't really talk to them.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm just going around wreaking havoc on this plantation right now. So I'm destroying barrels. I thought that was did not realize that was my ally when I fired that.
That's fair. You're in a live fire environment here. Yeah.
Exactly. Is your alligator wearing an outfit? Looks like he's wearing a little jacket.
I think they all have like little distinct characteristics about them, and you can equip them with different skins, I believe. I think like Chorizo, you can get like a special skin for him.
Nice. Okay.
I'm here to ask the important questions.
I was gonna say that's something I wouldn't have asked, so I appreciate that's why you're here. You're rocking a crazy looking flamethrower right now. We've talked about the weapons a little bit, but I think one of the big draws for me is that from the pre-release stuff that we've seen, some of these weapons look like they're straight out of Ratchet and Clank. Did you find that's the same in execution? Not necessarily Ratchet and Clank, but like, did you get to use a bunch of crazy stuff in your early hours, or is it reserved more for the closer to the mid game?
Yeah, so there's no like, I'm gonna shoot this guy and it's gonna like cause a plant to grow on him or anything like that, like in Ratchet and Clank. But there was one that I really liked that was like basically like a magnum, like a kind of like a really powerful revolver that you hold in one hand, and then the other hand you have like a deployable shield. That's kind of nice. So like you're just walking on the magnum on your hip, and then it when you look down the sights, your guy actually holds it like a riot shield in front of himself.
Oh, cool.
There's all kinds of really cool weapons. Oh, by the way, the Chicharon is the chicken's name. I'm bringing up some notes here because I wanted to talk about some other. I took notes of all of like the special weapons.
Okay,
so you're seeing the Tostador right now, the Tostador, which is the flamethrower.
Yep.
There's the Clavadora crossbow, the Zusito rifle, which produces a shock effect.
Okay.
There's the El Susuro nail gun, which is like a stealthy nail gun that you can use, and then the El Muro, which is the revolver with the shield.
Okay.
And so those are like the special weapons that you can equip, and then the other things are the Supremos, which is the rocket launcher that you haven't seen yet. There's all kinds of different ones. There's one that is like it sends out like a healing aura, so it helps your co-op partner, and it also can self-revive if you get downed. And then there's another one that it will. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes right now.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah.
There's one that shoots out like a ring of fire, like around everyone around you. It would probably come in handy on this mission. But yeah, there's all kinds of like those operate on a cooldown.
Cool.
Whereas the special weapons are just straight up ammo.
Okay, for sure. Cool. Well, I think this is a really great look. Mags is someone who has avoided previews up until now. Are you still excited? Are you less, more? Where are you at now?
I'm more excited. I am pre-ordered, and I'm wondering if I need to go back and upgrade my pre-order to a special edition. This is fantastic.
Cool.
I can't wait.
You know what else is fantastic? Wow. You both being here. Thank you so much. Viewers, thank you so much for watching. If you're ready and excited for more Far Cry, we're almost there. October 7th is the day, coming out on all the major platforms. So thanks. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. You know the damn thing, and we will see you next time. Bye.